Okay. So I'm Emily, by the way, just in case you need that for your paper. Like everybody, I've struggled with writing essays a lot in the past. My sophomore year of high school, for our final English class, we had to write a paper, like a 10-page long paper about interviewing somebody in a field that we're interested in, or just anything that we're interested in general. So I interviewed bands. I literally interviewed famous bands, like well-known bands. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, my teacher was gonna love it. Mine was the best in class, so there's no way I wasn't getting an A on this paper. So I turned it in, I got it back, and I got a C- on it, and I realized that my writing skills weren't as great as I thought they were. But why I actually haven't paid anybody to write a paper for me yet, because that's plagiarism. I've come pretty close to it, like most people. But the older I got and the more advanced English classes I started taking, I realized that writing papers isn't that hard, and it can actually be pretty easy, actually. So, according to thecreativepen.com, which is a website that gives writing, publishing, and marketing tips, which is run by an author, Joanna Penn, in an article she published in 2012 called Writing with a Purpose, in the article she states, when writing about things that we are interested in, it is actually more fun to write, and it's always fun to indulge in what we love. Which brings me to my first point, which is writing about topics that you're interested in. When you're writing about things that you're interested in, it's a lot easier to write papers, and it's a lot more fun to write papers because you're actually writing about something you're interested in instead of just a topic that's assigned you or something that you think you have to write about. But it's actually pretty easy to stretch the guidelines that your professor will give to you, and you can pick a topic within that you're interested in. Like last semester, we had to write a comparison and contrast essay, and I wrote mine on the similarities and differences between Heath Ledger's Joker and Jared Leto's Joker in the Batman series. So I actually got to watch Batman for homework, which was pretty fun. And that was the most fun I've ever had writing an essay, and it was the easiest essay to write for me, and I actually got 100 on it. So it kind of proves that when you write about things you love, pretty much you can get a good grade on it. But when you write about things that you're interested in, you can write longer essays too. So if you have trouble meeting page limits when writing about things you're interested in, it can help you write longer essays and things come to you more easily. So, and my second point is that when when writing essays, the more time that you give yourself, the easier it will become too. Because when you procrastinate, you get super stressed out, which I'm somebody who loves to procrastinate all the time. If you think I can't write a 4-page paper in 1 night, you're wrong. 3 minutes. So give yourself more time when writing papers, because I promise you will feel less stressed out. It'll help you. And I don't know why people think that you have to wait till the last minute to do something, because it's a lot easier if you just get a head start on it, give yourself time to do something, and in the end you'll feel better, and you'll probably write a better paper too, because when you rush yourself, you often make more mistakes and you forget about critical things that you need to include in your work. So rushing yourself is pretty bad. So when it comes to writing or doing any homework in general, really try just putting your phone away and getting rid of your procrastination habits, because it'll help you in the long run. Speaking of making mistakes, this brings me to my last point that I want to make, which is having other people read over your papers for you. This is something that's really important, and this is something we did in my English class last semester. We just had other people read our papers and point out mistakes, because when somebody else reads your paper, usually they can point out things that you missed yourself when you're writing a paper, or they can tell you when something doesn't make sense, when you need to rearrange your paper, get rid of something, whatever. And last semester, when I was presenting my final presentation, on the opening slide, I forget what word it was, but I literally spelled the easiest word wrong. It was one of the 3 words on the opening slide, and I put it up on the projector in front of the class, and somebody pointed it out to me before my professor noticed, luckily, so I went in there and I changed it real quick. But that kind of shows that having somebody else read over your stuff, they can easily point out that mistakes that you've made. So flashing forward to today, right now, this semester, I've pretty much narrowed down what helps me write better papers and what tips that I use that can help me get the grades that I want. And while I might not be an English teacher or a published author, I actually made the dean's list. So this can prove that, yeah.
1 minute.
So I've actually figured out what helps write me and what helps me get better grades. So if you use these tips, you too can write better papers.
Good.